Hey everyone, Chris I here, and on today's episode we're doing my top 5 favorite Game of Thrones channels. So if you've never been to my channel before, I usually do top 5 videos and reviews on movies, TV shows, anything in the entertainment realm that I really like. So I was thinking, because we're about halfway through season 5 of Game of Thrones, I figured I'd do a little video giving you guys some, a wealth of information that you might not be aware of. So, as you may or may not know, Game of Thrones comes from the book A Song of Ice and Fire. Now, there's a prehistory of 12,000 plus years that takes place before the books even start. And I know a lot of you might not be aware of it, but when you're watching the show, they sometimes talk about things when you're kind of like, what the heck? Who is this person? Who is that person? Anyway, there's a shit ton of information out there, and maybe you don't feel like reading it all. That was me. I'm not a big reader. But luckily for us, there's a whole bunch of YouTube channels dedicated to this, and that's what today's episode is about. So, without any further ado, here is my top 5 Game of Thrones YouTube channels.
Number 5.
So at number 5 we have Comic Book Girl 19. Now her channel used to do a lot of Game of Thrones content and not so much anymore, which is why I have her ranked at number 5. Now you might be thinking, well, why do you even have her ranked at all if she's not doing it anymore? And that's simple, because the content that she did put out there is absolutely awesome. And the main ones that I'm talking about are her epic history videos. Now she did one for each of the major houses in the show, which was the Starks, Lannisters, Baratheons, and Targaryens. So if you're interested in those houses, I definitely suggest going and checking out her videos. They're super entertaining, super informative. Now, like I said, she doesn't do the stuff now, but, can't have everything, right? So, yeah, Comic Book Girl 19. Check it out.
Number 4.
So at number 4, we have Preston Jacobs. Now his channel is not completely, but mostly dedicated to theory videos. And by that I mean things like, the Pink Letter, what Littlefinger's actual plan is, the Dornish master plan, Maesters, did they get rid of the dragons, what's going on with Dany behind the scenes with all her visions and Quaithe and things like that. And if you have no idea what I was just talking about, that is exactly why you need to check out this channel. Now he also does something that's pretty cool, and he just started doing it, so he's in season 1, but he basically tells you what you missed from book to show through each episode. Now I believe he's only through 4 episodes of season 1, but still it's worth going back and just, getting to recap the episode and see what you missed out on by not reading the book. But again, you don't need to read the book, just watch these channels, they're super awesome. Anyway, Preston Jacobs, number 4.
Number 3.
So at number 3 we have Rawrist. Now what I like about her channel is she does a lot of videos based on the Targaryens. And by this I mean pretty much a video for every Targaryen king there's been in Westeros. We only know of the Mad King, and we barely know anything of him from the show. But this goes all the way back to Aegon, and then through the 300 years of history, all the way to the Mad King. So if you ever had any interest in knowing about all the different kings of Westeros over the last 300 years, you definitely need to check out this channel. She also does a lot of other stuff, not just Targaryen. A lot of Game of Thrones stuff, a lot of other content, which I'm not going to get into on this. But yeah, definitely check out the channel. It's super informative, pretty cool. Number 3, Rawrist.
Number 2.
So at number 2 we have Emergency Awesome. Now I've talked about him in a previous video, but this is more about strictly what he does for Game of Thrones, because he does a lot of other stuff too. Now during the season, he does at least 3 videos a week. And he does a review video right after the show, and on that review video you can ask him questions about the show, in which he will do another video answering those questions, which I think is pretty cool. The third video is usually a bonus video, and that could be about anything. It could be about Children of the Forest, could be about the White Walkers, could be about Bravos, could be about Dany. Literally anything about the show. He does take suggestions, so you can always go on his channel and say, hey Charlie, I want to see a video about dragons, and maybe he'll do it, you never know. But anyway, it's a really awesome channel, very informative, and that's why I have it at number 2, Emergency Awesome. Check it out. So before we get to number 1, as always, honorable mentions. So at number 1 we have Civilization EX. Now his content is not only Game of Thrones, but also a little bit of Lord of the Rings. Just throwing that out there, but I know this is Game of Thrones talk, so that's what we're going to talk about. And he does a lot of videos. He does videos based on characters, on places, on histories. He has a really awesome one, which is the timeline of Westeros, which starts from the First Men and goes all the way to where we're at in the show books right now. Now, a lot of it is a bit spoilerish, so just keep that in mind. But he'll always tell you when it's a spoiler, just so you don't screw yourself over if you don't want to know stuff. But these are also videos that go by pretty quickly. Like his videos are usually between like 3 and 5 minutes. Some of them go a little bit longer. But with a lot of these channels, these videos are 15 minutes long, 20 minutes long, 30 minutes long. Now with Civilization EX, he gets right to the point, doesn't give you any real in-depth information. It's basically like bullet points of everything you'd want to know. And there's theory videos, there's videos on Arya Stark, there's videos on Sansa, there's videos on Bran, there's videos on the Hound. I mean, so you have a ton of content, and he puts out videos multiple times a week, which is super awesome. I always am up to date. As soon as I see it, show up on Twitter, I'm like, all right, let's do this. Gotta go watch a Civilization EX video, because like I said, they're only a couple minutes long, so it's not like it's taking a big chunk out of your day, but it's totally worth it. So go check it out. Civilization EX, number 1. So that's it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, please subscribe below, like the video, share it with your friends. I'd really appreciate it. You can also follow me on Twitter at SeeNoEvil21, where you will get up-to-date information on future videos and videos that are coming out and just a lot of crap that I just talk about. So yeah, follow me. You can also check out some of my older videos here and here. And just for you guys, in the description below, I put all the links to all the channels that I talked about on today's episode. So yeah, that's it guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one.